Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this, a brand new day. A day in which I had a shower, and it's 7:31 a.m. on Friday, the 5th of October. Yes, indeed, October. The month of my birth. I turned 56 on the 26th of this month, and in my pocket, I'm sorry, little guy, I keep scaring him. Plus, when hamsters, I mean, all their apparatus, their sensory apparatus, all their whiskers are right up there on the front of their face. So when you reach into the pocket, you're brushing up against their face radar, and it's unpleasant for them. So they recoil like you're trying to smack them or something because you're bonking up against their whiskers. But he's a good little guy with his cute little stubby tail. I love hamster tails. I just love these cute little stubby tails. Long tails, like on rats and mice, I don't like them at all. Here you go, little guy. I'm going to put you down. You're a good guy. The one thing about rats, yeah, it's the tail. I don't like that long, hairless tail. I don't like long tails on rodents. But I don't like the way guinea pigs look either, because they have no tails. And so I'm caught in the middle. But the compromise, that tiny stubby tail that the hamster has, perfect little tail. It's perfect, awesome, they're beautiful. I love hamsters so much. And I thought this time, today, instead of just my normal standard ramble about weird stuff that has nothing to do with anything, I would ramble about just stuff that sort of has a unifying theme. Somebody said, why don't you talk about your favorite stuff in comments? And it's like, yeah, I'm trying to talk out my hopes and fears, my terrors and my dreams. The bad stuff that happens in my life and the good. So, hey, let's just talk about some of my favorite things that I like in my life, that I have liked through my life, and that I still like today. Why not? It's actually better than dwelling on the awful, isn't it? Now, when I was younger, I was a big reader. I loved reading. I had to read everything. I mean, literally. I would read the back of cereal boxes as I was learning to read. I had to read. As I was eating, I had to read something. As I was not driving, in the back seat as we were driving along, I would read the backs of ingredients on cans and what was in everything just to read, and I constantly read everything. By the time that my parents would leave me in the library so I could choose the books I wanted, or I'd be able to walk to the library on my own, I was always huge amounts of books, just stacks and stacks. So I've always been a mass reader, and one of the things that has bothered me about my life lately, well, ever since like 1989, is I haven't had enough space to put out all the books that I've had, and then I had way too many books when I was married, and then I had to give away like 99.9% of all my books after my wife died and my house was being taken back by Wells Fargo. So I still got a couple boxes, mostly things like the Patricia Cornwell novel series of Kay Scarpetta. I really liked her Kay Scarpetta stuff, and Jen, my wife, loved them all, read them all. So I've read like 8 out of the entire series. She read them all up to, her death. And then there's the Alphabet series of books with Kate Malone, I think is the main character. But it's a private detective. Hi, Charlie. It's a private detective series, and Kinsey Malone is like a 5'1" little gal, and every single one of the books, A is for alibi, B is for body, C is for corpse, and then she's gone all the way through the alphabet. So, and Jen read all those, and so I've still got most of those, not all of them. Life is life. I have also, throughout my life, well, not throughout all of my life, I was at least in middle school, I think, when I started collecting comic books. Poor Charvy over there. It's the fleas. I've got to get his I didn't change his cage yesterday because I was having to walk. My legs were hurting so much. So today I've got to change the bedding on his cage and then see what I can do for him, because I think he's being bitten by fleas every time that happens. Or else he's just dreaming and waking up, but I think it's the fleas. I haven't checked on him, so I don't know. We'll find out. I still need to change the stuff no matter what, though, so we're going to get that done. So I started about middle school collecting comic books, and by the time I hit like the mid 1990s, I had like 30,000 comic books, like 30 boxes of 1,000 books each, and it was getting too expensive. I couldn't buy them anymore because I was also drinking so much. My death spiral was getting to the point where all I could spend any money at all was on alcohol. And if I spent any other money, I wouldn't be able to buy alcohol. So I had to drop any other spending, which meant the comic books that I'd been collecting for decades, I had to stop collecting. And then later on, I went through my 30,000 comic books and sold like 29,000 of them so I could drink them. Being an alcoholic is a terrible thing. Please don't ever do it. It is not good. There are no good end results to being an alcoholic. But I still enjoy comic books. I still wish I had them. I do have a small collection. I've shown off some of what I used to have. I wish I could get a full collection of the DC Comics Ambush Bug series, because after I quit collecting, they came out with another, at least one mini-series about the character Ambush Bug, and I think a second mini-series. So there's one or two off the older ones that I don't have, and all the newer ones that I'll never have. Such is life. One of the other things that I really used to do, starting back when I was a kid, because it was like in the mid, well, not the mid, because it was 1974 when D&D first came out, and I was involved with playing first edition, basic edition, D&D. Didn't play the first 3 boxes, though, books. It was like the chainmail rules. But I bought all those just to be a collector later on. But I started off playing Dungeons and Dragons, and then Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. We waited for all the books. We waited for the Dungeon Master's Guide and the Player's Handbook and the Monster Manual for AD&D. And of course it was like, what, the Dungeon Master's Guide that had the big misprint on the first run, so that was fun. Became quite the collector's item later on in life, but when you're trying to just play the game, misprints don't help. So we played that for a long time, and then as I went through life in the Air Force, I played a lot of role-playing games, because the first time I was in Florida, I found a whole bunch of people that played role-playing games, and we all played role-playing games. Then I spent 2 years in Germany. Found a whole bunch of people over in Germany. We played role-playing games, started doing other things too. Bought my first computer over in Germany. That was the VIC-20, then the Commodore 64. So got involved with computers a lot. Didn't play RPGs so much, but I was still involved. And then later on, when I got out of the Air Force, as I was still getting involved more and more with drinking, but not until later on, for the next 5, 6, 7 years, I still played RPGs and various types of role-playing games. My favorite types are not, I mean, fantasy. The fantasy genre, I don't really like Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, the first edition, second edition, all that was kind of okay. And then I don't even... Once it went out to 3.5 is okay. But anything past that, ugh. I like the second edition RuneQuest rules. Avalon Hill came out with a whole bunch of RPGs during the 80s. Like Lords of Creation, which was fun and stuff like that. But then later on they bought RuneQuest and then sold it back to Chaosium. But they came out with the RuneQuest rules, a whole bunch of stuff like that. And one awesome game called Powers and Perils. Absolutely incredible system. If you lose, oh, poor Charvy. If you lose one page telling you how to make up a character, you can't play anymore because it is so complex. If you don't have the rules telling you where to jump and what to do, you can't do it. So don't ever lose that one page. But then I stopped playing RPGs once I got out of the Air Force because I started drinking too much. Once again. So that was fun. Now as a child, I think it was, I cannot remember, well, I was going to say I don't think I started smoking cannabis as a child until I was like a teenager, but to be honest, a friend of mine, when I went to elementary school, I went to this one old school for like kindergarten through 3rd grade, and then they tore that thing down and it was too bad, and they went and put up a apartment block, but it was an awesome old school, like 3 stories in a basement. But then they made up this big 1-floor modular spread out thing, and we had the school there. But then this one guy, when I was like in 4th grade, became a new student, walked into the classroom, and I went, I'm going to become friends with him, and I became friends with him. But then later on, a couple years after that, like 2 or 3, we discovered, because his mother smoked, that she had, and with her beau, that they had cannabis. So he and I, as like in 6th and 7th grade, were smoking out and listening to Pink Floyd, not the Wall, Pink Floyd, the oh my god, the Black Album, the Dark Side of the Moon. Holy smokes, that was painful. And we were listening to that. So I got my first introduction to cannabis quite young, and then smoked all the way up until mid-high school, and then my parents caught me, and then I stopped smoking. I tried periodically throughout my life afterward, but when I first got out of the Air Force in the mid-80s, I tried smoking, and my heart felt like it was going to be ripped out of my chest. And when I told my doctor about that, he said, yes, that's very common. So I'm very glad that now, you know, decades after that, that I can smoke cannabis like a chimney for pain control, and my heart does not feel like it's being ripped out of my chest. Thank God for that. So that was good. But it was after my wife died and my fibro was so bad, I had to walk with my walker, and I was shuffling, couldn't even sign my name in one go. It took 3 sets. You know, I had to sign the beginning and stop, sign in the middle and stop, and then finish up and then stop because it hurt. So it was fun. But then I started smoking medical cannabis and discovered that I could get rid of 27 of the 28 medications that I was on for pain and pain control. So my blood became less of a toxic soup and just blood with cannabis in it. Thumbs up for that. And methadone, but I'm trying to get off methadone. It's hard. It is hard to get off this last final bit. Holy smokes. But then I should probably talk to my doctor about it as well. But it was in the mid-90s, and I'm almost done with some of the just yammering about this because I've got to start thanking people soon. It was in the mid-90s that I first got, it was a big debate. Am I going to get a Sega Saturn or am I going to get a PlayStation 1? I was leaning toward the Sega Saturn because Sega, it was Sega and Sony. But then this guy who worked with us, a nurse, talked me into buying a PlayStation 1. Glad I did. So that's why I immediately, that's why I jumped onto the console bandwagon at the PSX stage, because it was just, I had computers. I had a Amiga 500 that I think didn't work at that point, but I had a IBM compatible, and I just wanted a console, so got myself a PlayStation 1 and never looked back, and that's why I still have my PlayStation 4 over there, so thumbs up. Yeah, I skipped Nintendo entirely. Was not interested, not really too thrilled with all the Nintendo stuff now, the early Nintendo stuff. The current Nintendo stuff, I'd like a 3DS. I'd like a handheld. What can I say? But not for any big and wonderful thing. Just because I like playing games. I get bored easy too. Oh, shuckle my duckle. talking about video games. If you like watching older people especially play video games, I have a game channel. If you could check that out, that would be awesome. You don't have to. Please don't feel obligated. I don't feel entitled. But I try to play a video game daily on that channel. I keep falling asleep, and I'm sorry about that. But if you could check it out, it would be awesome. And also, well, no, that's too early. Why do I keep doing that? I'm going to open up and thank. Did I not do it yet? I'm opening up right now. Let's make sure I have. No, I haven't had a. I'm opening up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab because foolishly I hadn't done it yet. I'm going to thank 20 to 25 people for having left me comments. Now, I'm not reading the comments right now, especially since I'm just bringing them all up right now. But I'm just going to thank people for having left me comments. Good comments, bad comments, indifferent comments. The fact is you left me a comment. It is greatly appreciated. I'm not reading them right now. I just said that. If I mispronounced a username, my sincere apologies. No disrespect is intended. I'm an American English speaker. And it's arranged because even though I count in American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my fibro and more, I'm sorry, but I tried my best. Okie dokie, now let's call the Chrome back up. Very good name, greatly appreciated. And JCK, greatly appreciate. Thumbs up. Tundra Keeper, hello. Good to see you, as always. Automatic Vids, thumbs up. Pandora NYC, greatly appreciated, definitely. Shadow Pixel, thumbs up. Gata SCXZ, thumbs up and thank you very, very much. And Brian Glenn, greatly appreciated. X Twisties, greatly appreciated. Finisander Blaskovich, thumbs up and thank you. Benny Tops, greatly appreciated. Ice Damon, thumbs up and thank you. Nicholas Philippe, thumbs up. XGN, X Lone Wolf X, and Analu Suarez, thumbs up. Joseph Schultz, thumbs up and thank you. Living Like Larry, 69. Oh, and Claude 5190, thumbs up and thank you. Alcacia Motivation, thumbs up. Hopefully I'm close, but I'm not. Sebastian Ferris, thumbs up and thank you. Dan Evans, greatly appreciated. Zombie Wolf, thumbs up. Aaron Kurtz, greatly appreciated. JT, thumbs up and thank you. And last but not least, Blue Guy XD, greatly appreciated. Thumbs up, thank you very much. As stated, get me out of this dark, sort of, tight and closed, cramped and closed skull. Ugh, ugh. You don't want to be stuck inside there. I mean, you do. But you don't, if you know what I mean. And if you don't, then that's okay, because I don't either. But thank you very much. It is appreciated. Now, poor Charlie. Now, if you could check out my various links. I have Twitter, Facebook, GoFundMe, Patreon.com, Google+. If you could donate to my GoFundMe campaign or become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people. Oh, poor Charlie. I think it might be fleas, but then I also scared him awake with a noise earlier. But if you cannot donate, or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart where I draw interest. Thank you very, very much. If you could toss me a like, I do appreciate all the positive validation I get for my existence. Definitely a thumbs up. If you could subscribe to the channel, that would be very cool. Greatly appreciated as well. I would understand if you did not want to, but if you are down with it, I will do my very best to keep you entertained from now until the literal end of time. And that's a very good thing. Oh, hokey smokes. Yeah, I'm hoping things aren't going to be too bad this month monetarily. So if you could help by donating to either my GoFundMe campaign or becoming a Patreon.com patron, it would be very cool. Again, I don't feel obligated, but it would be awesome. If you wanted to support me in some fashion, I am partnered with HumbleBundle.com. They do all sorts of software, and they give to charity. So I can talk now, and that's awesome. If you use the link, I get paid. I've been paid once, so I'd like to get paid again. But if you like to buy software, it'd be cool to use the link, but don't feel obligated. It would just be awesome. Thumbs up and thank you. Well, shuckle my duckle. I'm a terrible salesman. Have you ever noticed that? I say this because it's raining, and I need to walk to the store as well. So it's going to be a fun day, especially since I'm really, really hurting. But that's all right too. So you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. Hopefully you've got a game video, hopefully a reaction video, hopefully a game video on my game channel. Who knows what will happen. Hopefully I'm just not going to fall asleep all the time.